Right folks, mega excited for this one. I've finally managed to persuade my old mate Andy Oldham to come on these videos and do a little chat for me. And I've been doubly sneaky because he smashed me up the other week on pellets at Allcroft.
I did.
I was sat opposite you, wasn't I? And I just kept seeing him coming back with these big skimmers, and I thought, right, I need to find out what pellet fishing tackle he uses. So,
I don't like telling you, Tom.
I know you don't.
I work here now, so a big boss has told me I've got to do it.
Oh, you're kidding.
I don't mind telling you, mate.
Right, okay, let's start then with the floats that you use. Pellet fishing, winter style. I'm guessing this is for skimmers and maybe carp?
Yeah, definitely. Depending where you draw, is like, well, when I go through my gear, is why I change elastic for pellet fishing to another elastic.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't, if you use too light elastic and you're on a carp peg, you're going to have a lot of trouble, maybe elastic snapping and pulling out to fish as well if you've got the too heavy elastic in.
Got you.
So you've got to marry everything up. Pellet fishing in the winter is so important to marry everything up so everything's correct.
Like balanced tackles.
Balanced tackle, get everything out. When the carp counts a pound and it's an hard day, they're important to get out.
Yeah.
As long as you know, so you've got to marry everything up so you get everything out.
Right, let's start at the top then. So, line and floats.
Right, so basically, I love these new matrix floats because for a commercial made float, along with maybe one other, they're made out of foam, they're very, very strong. So it's important to use a very strong float. Like I've been saying, if you draw a carp peg, which has got skimmers in also, and you foul up a carp and it comes back and ice pulled out, you don't want.
Yeah, strength's so important.
Like we both think teams of four, it's so important in winter to get every fish out, and the last thing you want is keep changing your rigs, so it's important to have a good float. And these slims from Matrix, they're awesome. Slim carbons, depending on condition, I'll use a 0.4 to a 0.75.
And that's depending on the wind, the tone, the depth, etc.
Dot it down as far as you can is very important because you bite some pellet fishing, as you know, just little dinks sometimes.
How do you shot that?
Again, very important because when we go through our feed me pellet line, I have what they call a straight down line of pellets.
Yeah.
Because I believe them fish home in on the pellets.
Yeah.
So like we fish bloodworm and pinky and maggot, we'll have a strung out or a tapered rig, what we do. So basically, with that, your bait is away from your pellets if you do that sort of a rig.
Yeah.
So personally, I like to use a bulk and 2 11 droppers, depending on the tow, or 11 or 10 droppers, and I'll drop it down like I do roach fishing.
Almost lower the rig.
Like a double bolt rig, so your pellet is in line with your markers that are falling down.
Right.
It's no good laying it in
Yeah.
when your pellet's probably 7-8 foot away because you're fishing in 7 foot of water.
Yeah.
It's falling away. They don't see it coming in other than from side. So by lowering it in, it's in that channel of pellet, micro
Same
pellets.
as your bait's going down.
Exactly, and then fish in mid-water. We always think that fish in mid-water in winter. The omen see it and they follow it down.
Right, got you. That makes total sense.
Yeah,
so that bulk, how far away from your hook's that?
Probably 2 foot.
2 foot. So you've got a fair drop.
Yeah, it's all about the fall. I like a 6-inch hook length.
Yeah.
It's all about the curve. When it falls, it follows it. So the bulk stops. It's at its depth, and then the rest of the rig is falling down in the same channel.
Got you. And a nice sort of straight line.
Very similar to a double bolt rig like we do for roach when we're bagging, but I still believe you still need them droppers to form that little bit of a arc as it's falling down.
Got you. 6-inch hook length you've said. What hooks do you use then?
Well, again, I use, depending where I draw, if I feel like I'm on a peg that's got carp in, I'll use the MXC ones.
The Matrix MX.
Yeah, very similar to Preston SFLs.
Yeah.
And then when I know I'm on out and out pellet fish, little skimmers, etc., I use the F1 pellet.
Right.
18s and 16s in both hooks.
Got you. So 16s and 18s.
Yeah.
And basically these are a curve, they're both sort of a curved classic sort of pellet pattern.
So you can hook it through pellet and they just sit lovely up with pellets on them.
Right, you've bought a couple of elastics to show us. Just talk us through these.
Again, when you definitely know you're on small skimmers or big skimmers, but no carp area. We know where carp areas are at Allcroft, etc. That's mainly where I fish. I'll use that.
Right,
you get everything out on that. No matter if it's a 2-ounce fish to a 2-3 pound skimmer, you'll get it out on that.
Got you.
And this one's the slip elastic, which we all use. Fantastic when you get a carp on. It won't break. It's a 6, so it's still got that softness through a top tool to get a small skimmers out. And you, like I say, you've got the right hook on for getting them out.
So you use that when it's more the odd carp as well?
Yeah, definitely when I know it's odd carp, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Feeding is obviously one of the biggest things with this sort.
Yeah, I can talk all day about feeding with micros. It all depends on the depth. But like I said, we'll go on Orcross because everybody knows I fish Orcross, so it's like 6-7 foot deep. So the pots are very, very important, and I do use those juicy cap things.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Oh,
you break them off.
yeah, I know what you mean.
Little
Clear plastic. Fruit shoot.
Yes.
Fruit shoot.
I've got them in all different sizes. I've even cut them down to trim them even smaller. They are perfect, but for people who don't want to mess around with them, I do use these, and I've even trimmed these smaller.
Flexible toss pots. There's a few toss pots at Allcroft, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a few, yeah. But the beauty, the main important thing about with pellet fishing is you can feed too much, and when you ain't got the correct pot, what you tend to do is squash them inside of the pot.
Yeah.
Well, you're damaging the pellet, they don't look natural, they fall different, and sometimes they don't even come out. Or you can put the caps on the top that hold them in, but then you're having to ship out carefully because the micros are so light they can ping out, especially fishing 14 metres. So it's important to use the correct pot. So what it enables you to do by using the correct pot, I know I'm going a bit technical here, it enables you to fill it to exactly one. I've even counted the micros. So, and then I'll fill it with 20 micros or 15 micros, and I'll trim it down to that. So I can go like that, sprinkle them in, little pushing, and I can ship out as fast as I want.
And you know exactly how many you feed.
I know exactly how I'm feeding, and I've done.
I knew he'd got all this sort of thing.
I
knew he'd got all this.
And I've done it, and I've learnt of it years, where I've just left the pot as it is. I've put any pot on to a degree, size of it, and I always end up filling it up. And then you'll know you've done something wrong because it doesn't. You don't get a bite.
So with these, you literally just trim it with a pair of scissors to the
you
size.
You can trim it down. Yeah, I've got them in half that size.
Ah, clever.
And I was using the like the pot bottle tops before these come out.
Yeah. No,
so they're brilliant to have in your armament, as we say.
Really interesting.
But the important thing is the feeding. You feed too much, you'll stop getting bites, and you know, and then you can just go back. It's that fall of bait, constantly fall. If I had a bite in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I'll ship back. Because you need to have that little fall of micros to draw them in.
Makes total sense. Obviously, Hawcroft, we have to feed their fishery pellets.
We have, yeah.
How do you prepare them?
My fishery pellets, very, very simple. I'll do them in the morning in the garage along with my hook pellets.
Yeah, and what do you do? Just cover them in water?
I get a 3-pint tub, fill it half full, and then just cover them with water, put lid on. Simple as that.
That's ready to go.
Yeah.
Expanders, that's the next thing.
Yeah, another expander. The way I like to think about expanders is like using maggots, pinkers or squabs, right? When I'm on some fish or carp, I'll try and use the 4.5, right? And the beauty about the Blake's one is that they are what they say they are. They're 4 and 3 milli pellets.
Yeah.
You put water to them, expand them, they virtually stay the size, what it says on the package.
Got you.
I've experimented with them, I've pumped them, I've done the...
Just a minute, I want to start. I think we've got T-Boy Taylor here.
We've got refreshments.
I could be wrong. Tell you what, this is service, isn't it? Have you got another job as a waiter somewhere?
It's...
You got biscuits? Biscuits are here.
It's a team effort. Fish and chips are doing them.
Cheers, Al, thank you.
I shall load your fish and chips. I'll look after them for you, Andy.
Yeah, I bet you will, mate. Cheers, Cop. Yeah, so the up-bait is very, very important. And what I do, I have 3 Tupperware lids. So I'm in my garage, I've done my micros, and I have 3 little Tupperwares with the lids. You know, you seal it so you don't lose the water. And I'll just fill the base of the Tupperware tub.
Yeah.
And I will literally just cover them with water for the Blakes.
Yeah.
I won't pump them. I just put them on as they are. And the reason I want the Tupperware lid is because while I'm driving to the venue, it's soaking the water up.
Got you.
It's preparing while I'm doing other things.
It's interesting because I'm like you, I always do them on the morning. I know some people do them the night before.
Night
There's all
before,
sorts of ways of
cold
doing it.
fridge, in a carrier, in a bag and all that.
Speedy does that and plays with him for hours, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I guess it's the pellets the guys are using, they might be the best way for that product.
Yeah.
But I found with Blake's, I don't like to pump them because they're a very delicate but brilliant up pellet because they keep the colour, they're like a golden colour.
Yeah.
The weight even of an F1 pellet, it'll sink a 4mm pellet.
So you don't soak them, you do soak them, you don't pump them.
I don't pump them, I just soak them.
Yeah.
Because I found if you get the pumping wrong, you ship them out, they can come off.
Yeah, 100%.
But with these, you definitely pump them. They do go a bit bigger than what it says on the package, but they're brilliant when they're proper having it and you're on some big skimmers. They're brilliant to have or in the car paired. It's a bit more bigger bay, a bit more visual. But I'll tell you where the reason why it's so important to have all the three. I like them separate, so it's 3 little tubs. You can go from one of those pellets to one of those and not get a bite.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting a bite on them, you can go on to a 3mm and get a bite.
Interesting.
It's like going from a pinky to a maggot or a pinky to a squat. That will get you a bite when you think there's nothing in your peg. 100%. Done it too many times.
That's so interesting, and yeah, I want to get you on this channel a lot more because I know these guys. These guys are going to love all this technical stuff.
Yeah, more to come.
Love it.